High in the Bolivian Andes, at 13,400 feet above sea level, sits a city the modern world has almost entirely forgotten. Its streets are quiet. Its buildings are crumbling at the edges. Once, this city was the financial engine of the entire world. In 1600, Potosí had a population of 160,000, equal to London, larger than Rome, the largest city in the Western Hemisphere. Its coat of arms, granted by Holy Roman Emperor Charles V in 1547, carried words that were not boasting. They were stating facts. I am rich Potosí, treasure of the world, king of all mountains and envy of kings. Cervantes referenced it in Don Quixote. King Philip IV declared, in silver lies the security and strength of my monarchy. Historians have called it the first city of capitalism, the place that invented the money that built the modern global economy. Then the silver ran out. And Potosí didn't just decline, it vanished into the altitude like a dream the world can barely remember having. You are an Aymara herder named Diego Hualpa, searching for two lost llamas in the dark. Night has come fast. The temperature has dropped to brutal. You stop at the foot of a reddish, cone-shaped mountain the Inca once called Sumaj Orco, and build a fire to survive the night. Then you notice something. The ground beneath the flames is melting. Something silver and liquid runs from the soil. Diego Hualpa has just found the largest silver deposit in the history of the world. The Inca already knew this mountain held something sacred. Oral tradition records that when Emperor Huayna Capac sent miners here, a voice thundered from the mountain in Quechua. Take no silver from this hill. It is destined for other masters. The Inca obeyed. The Spanish did not. Within a year of the April 1545 discovery, 14,000 people live at the mountain's foot. Within a decade, 45,000. The ore near the summit contains up to 40% silver in places. Miners are reaching into a mountain and pulling out money. Between 1545 and 1810, the Cerro Rico produces over 45,000 metric tons of silver, more than 1/3 of the entire world's supply. Not 1/3 of South America's, 1/3 of Earth's. Author Jack Weatherford states it plainly. Potosí made the money that irrevocably changed the economic complexion of the world. A crude camp becomes the largest industrial complex on Earth, and a city rises that will soon be the richest place human beings have ever built. You stand in Potosí's main plaza in 1600, and everything you see has been paid for with silver. 72 churches rise across the city, their interiors dripping with silver altarpieces. Mansions line the streets in the Mestizo Baroque style. One street is literally paved with silver bars, not cobblestones, silver bars. Above the city, the Cerro Rico looms like a god. 22 artificial reservoirs power 140 hydraulic mills grinding ore around the clock, 60 amalgamation patios, 6,000 ceramic kilns. The world's largest industrial complex, not just in the Americas, but on Earth. The silver flows from Potosí on llama trains to the Pacific, then by ship to Seville, then across Europe, funding Spain's wars with the Dutch, the English, the Ottomans. Then Spanish galleons carry it west across the Pacific to Manila, where Chinese merchants trade silk and porcelain for it. Historians argue the mountain in Bolivia was effectively funding the Ming Dynasty of China. The silver doesn't just flow. It floods every market on Earth it touches. Here is the fact that rewrites everything. The pieces of 8 struck at Potosí's Royal Mint became the first truly global currency in human history. Before the US dollar, before the British pound. From London to Canton to Calcutta to Cairo, one coin, stamped in a city most of today's world has never heard of. For over 2 centuries, it was the closest thing humanity had to a single world currency. The Spanish phrase, val un potosí, worth a Potosí, becomes the ultimate statement of value. It was not a metaphor. It was arithmetic. Now go inside the mountain. You descend 800 feet on notched wooden poles. No metal, no rope, just raw timber jammed into rock. The darkness is absolute except for a tallow candle tied to your forehead. And there is a smell, sweet, chemical, metallic, that you do not yet know the name of. That smell is mercury, and it is killing you. In 1572, Viceroy Francisco de Toledo introduces the mercury amalgamation process. Workers mix crushed ore with mercury on open stone patios. The chemical reaction extracts silver from previously worthless low-grade ore. It also releases mercury vapor into the air, the water, and the lungs of everyone who works there. Mercury destroys the nervous system. Slowly, irreversibly, the Spanish enforce the mita, a forced labor draft that demands every indigenous community within a vast radius send 1/7 of its adult men to Potosí annually. They are assigned the worst work, hauling ore up the 800-foot shafts on their backs, loads of 100 to 300 pounds, up notched poles in near darkness for 16-hour shifts. They emerge soaked in sweat from the heat below into the freezing Andean night. The temperature shock alone kills many of them. A man sent to the Cerro Rico had, by some estimates, a 30% chance of ever returning home. Upper Peru lost nearly 50% of its indigenous population in the century and a half. No men to farm, no men to tend herds. Famine followed the mita the way shadow follows light. When indigenous deaths grew too numerous to sustain production, the Spanish brought tens of thousands of enslaved Africans across the ocean and over the Andes to the highest industrial city on Earth. They died in the refineries at the same rates. The conservative historical death toll runs well into the millions. A local saying still repeated in Potosí today carries the weight of it all. You could build a silver bridge from Potosí to Madrid with what was mined here, and a bridge back with the bones of those who died taking it out. Silver does not last forever. Neither does the richest city in history. By the late 1600s, the highest grade ore is gone. The population falls from 160,000 to 60,000 within a century. A contemporary resident writes, "Everything is finished. All is affliction and anguish." But here's the darkest economic irony in the history of money. Potosí's silver killed itself. The mountain produced so much silver for so long that it flooded world markets and crashed the price of the metal it was selling. Spain had already financially hollowed itself out through the sheer excess of having it. The mountain was so generous it destroyed its own value. In 1825, Simón Bolívar, liberator of South America, chooses a specific location for his symbolic Declaration of Independence. Not a capital city, not a battlefield. He climbs to the summit of the Cerro Rico itself. At 15,689 feet, standing on the mountain that built the empire he just destroyed, Bolívar proclaims freedom. The silver, by then, is almost entirely gone. Today, 12,000 independent miners descend into the same mountain in shafts hundreds of years old. The timber props are rotting. Collapses kill approximately 20 people per year. Before descending, miners make offerings to El Tío. The conditions are not unlike the colonial era. They never became unlike the colonial era. In 1909, the historian Hiram Bingham visits Potosí, the same man who would discover Machu Picchu 2 years later. He finds a city that has lost 9/10 of its population. He calls it a silent specter. UNESCO designated it a World Heritage Site in 1987. Portions of the Cerro Rico summit have now collapsed inward from centuries of extraction. The mountain that changed the world is slowly eating itself. Potosí is not a simple story. It is not a celebration, and it is not only a condemnation. It is the unfiltered truth of how the modern world was actually built, not in the boardrooms of London or the courts of Versailles, but on a freezing mountain in Bolivia, in darkness, by people who had no choice, producing silver that touched every economy on Earth. The city didn't just disappear, it was spent. Drop a comment and tell me which moment hit you hardest. The piece of 8 as the world's first global currency, Bolivar standing on the summit of the mountain that built the empire he destroyed, the miners still going down there today. If this is the history you want more of, subscribe. There is so much more.